So we're back. Sorry for being on a hiatus. We got something cool to show you. We're gonna do a quick shop tour.
All right, guys, so we've been at the compound for 3 or 4 years now, and even from back when we first started Drift HQ, we've been working with the same crusty, old tools. Half of our stuff is missing. Organization is not there, so we're really excited to announce that we have a new partner for the shop, SP Tools.
Yeah! We get new, fresh everything. I'm talking cabinets, boxes. This thing's like a huge lift. We're gonna go into everything, but anything and everything you can think of that we actually need for tools is here now. So we're very excited. SP Tools has sent their whole catalog to us, so we're gonna be able to show you guys everything that they have and set up our shop in the process.
I'm staring through your window, looking up at the stars.
Straight cruising, Chris. So as you saw, we unboxed all of our sweet new SP toolboxes and cabinets and everything. Now we're gonna go through and show you everything that we set up. All right, so we're gonna start at the Fab Shop first. I'm very excited about this. One, I got a cool chandelier. I feel like every morning when I walk in here, I'm walking in through SEMA. Pretty excited about it. And it's got all the cars that we build in the inside. Even Joel's car made it up in there. Look at that. Front and center, buddy.
Picture me with a wrench in my mouth, too.
Yeah.
It's a real classy shot.
And then SP gave us this huge air over hydraulic lift, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it's like basically like a scissor lift. So we use this to drop the subframes. We used to just put them on our crusty little table with some jack stands, but now we actually got this set up. It comes with pegs and positioners and stuff like that as well. So you can actually get it without the subframe sitting flat on the table. We were kind of in a rush when we were taking this one out, so we didn't actually get to utilize all the little swivel plates and stands, but it's air over hydraulic. The thing goes like 6.5 feet up in the air. So I mean, we can drop the engine out when it's at its highest point in the lift. So it's real convenient, and it's got 4 casters in it that you can lock and unlock to be able to swivel or just roll straight in and out. So that's pretty sweet. And it's heavy, so I'm happy it has wheels. Good wheels at that.
Big wheels. As you guys know, I don't actually turn wrenches that often, but sometimes I have to, taking off brackets while I'm welding stuff, V-bands and whatnot. So when SP came by to fit us out and measure everything to make sure that when we got the boxes in there were the right size and they would fit, they delivered me a nice little goodie box right here, which came with their cart, a whole set of sockets, 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch, all of my wrenches that I need, even ratcheting wrenches that swivel. So I have every type of tool that I need in the Fab area, and I don't have to steal any of Chris's anymore, which is pretty sweet. They also come with these bad boys. These are impact screwdrivers. So when you hit them, they actually twist, so they'll break it free for you. Check them out. They're all available on drifthq.com now. So we sell all of these tools online. Pretty sweet.
This is definitely my favorite. So they obviously set us up with the cabinets in here. There's 2 different styles of cabinets they gave us. This one here, we just have set up with just the standard shelves and everything like that. And then the other one over here, they set us up with is my personal favorite. This one has the drawers that come out. So for all of our chemicals and oils, every time you're trying to get something that's in the back of the shelf and you're digging in there and you're knocking everything else over, then you can just pull the drawers out and have access to everything, which is really convenient.
Nobody wants to see that drawer. They want to see this drawer.
Oh yeah, that's the important one.
All the brake cleaner.
We even got that Canadian
Y'all
brake cleaner.
jealous? I know you are, because we go through this like, this is our soap and water right here.
Yeah. And on top of that, we got everything set up here for me to have a full-blown wiring station. So we set up all of our boxes here. We have everything for the DT, DTM, and DTP connectors. So everything's organized, my pins and stuff. We're not digging through a million drawers and things like that. Another thing I got set up is these sweet little suction cup jacks. So whenever I was doing my twisting before, if you guys saw in the videos, I would basically tape the connector to the table, then I would take the transmission jack and put it all the way over here, and then we would wrap it around there and tape it for me to do my concentric twisting and get my wire lay lengths and everything set up correctly. Now, I can put this down, suction cup it to the table. It's a soft jaw. It has rubber grips on it, so I can run my wires from there. So if I'm doing a short length, I can just set up here, or if I'm doing a really long length, I can set up all the way over here, and then I can run my twisting, as well as getting our pegboard and everything set up with all of our stuff from Wire Care to get everything fully set up without any issues. All right, so as well as the side cabinets and everything, they also gave us these under cabinets, which obviously over there I have for the DT connectors, but for all of our little miscellaneous stuff that always just gets stuffed into drawers and completely disorganized, Sharpies, razor blades, zip ties, you know, random butt connectors, just random electrical stuff that we never really had a home for. Now everything's organized, and there's a place for everything, so people can't just throw stuff on top of my table and make a big mess.
So next is our whole SP tool system here. And I mean system. They loaded us up from these little dollies that almost everybody that comes in our shop wants to ride them. They don't actually want to use them to work on cars. They just want to do donuts with them.
They're fast.
They're super fast.
They're dangerously fast. Unnecessarily fast. But
yeah, but they got a cushion on it, you know, for impact.
Safety first.
Yeah, safety first, then teamwork. So they started us with a full power cabinet. So we have all of our power tools. We have battery tenders, battery chargers, battery jump box, battery analysis testers, everything. You know, little portable ones you can bring with you. Because let's face it, if you're building a race car, you have a dead battery. So yeah, also you have wireless charging. So if you have like a phone, like an iPhone or a Samsung, you can just set it down on this and it'll wirelessly charge for you. And their lights are super bright. Hook this up with extra batteries. You always want to have at least 1 or 2 extra batteries for anything you're using in case you're using it a lot. So they set us up with banks of chargers and batteries to hook us up and lights, you know, because we'll be working under stuff all the time. We got another pegboard set up just like the other one. So we ended up moving that whole table over there for the Wire Care. And then SP hooked us up with these awesome boxes. And they were a little bit taller, so we ended up not being able to use the table, and these are so nice. I kind of want to cover them up because I'm going to mess these things up. They're like super nice stainless steel brush. They're actually clean-ish. Yeah. I haven't done much work today.
He hasn't done much work today.
So yeah, we have same thing as in my box. Chris just has the expanded version of all of the wrenches that they offer, and then we have our power drawer right here. So they have multiple different type of torque wrenches. They have 1/4 inch, 3/8, and the old 1/2 inch, all reliable for doing the big stuff. I don't know what you would use this for, but I mean, isn't this cute and dainty? My hands look huge with this thing. Heat sensor, he's not that hot. 94.8, boys. You don't have, yeah. So we have a sweet setup, just like my little one over there. We have the full version here of everything that you need. All quick and easy, everything's labeled, so you don't have to try and figure out what you're doing, you know, like, and as long as you can read.
And also you can see when your stuff is missing. So if somebody's been using it, you can see when there's an empty slot as opposed to just, you know, how it was before with just a bunch of sockets sitting in the drawers. Now you can actually see, yep, look at that. You turn around, the 10 mil's missing immediately.
Instantly. Moving on down. Oh.
Those are just
Those are our toe plates. We use these so much because, you know, people be running into stuff.
They need a happy home because people run away with them.
Yeah. So SP actually makes almost every single type of hand tool you can think of, even tape measures.
Yeah. And Cricket loses a tape measure every day, so he got plenty of replacements now.
All right, all of our hand tools, little crimpers, Allens, and Torx,
SAE and metric.
We use a lot of these too. Mm-hmm. And I know yours go missing all the time, the little ones that go on the Impacto, so these are real nice.
Yeah, it's harder to lose that.
So there's a lot more tools coming from them. We got our first initial bundle of everything to set up the shop and get it ready. We'll end up showing you the tools as we use them on the cars and stuff so you can see how good they are and, you know, us using them and hitting our fingers and learning these swear words. It's gonna be awesome. More tools. SP gives you all the specialty tools like pulley pullers, a master puller kit, cylinder leak down detectors, everything and anything you can think of. They have it here for you, and it's in a nice to-go box.
And I think my favorite thing in there is the pressure bleeder, because I can bleed brakes by myself. We have a saying in the shop that every day brake fluid will find a way, because we absolutely hate brake fluid. So that's gonna kind of help us, make a little bit less of a mess. Not no mess, but a little bit less of a mess.
You're gonna find a way to get brake fluid on you regardless. So as you can see, we added a third lift in here. Why? Because we have so many projects, we needed a third one. Right now it's occupied by a whole bunch of F30 parts. So with a third lift, we need a third toolbox. And we got one.
So this one we set up with a drawer organization system that they got set up. I like to call it the drawer organizers. So they actually have these little pegboards that are designed to work horizontally. So they give you like a bunch of different options for layouts, for ratchets, for sockets. They have little labels that go with them. Because if you ever have a toolbox, you're pissed off, you slam the drawer shut, all of your stuff slides to the back, everything gets disorganized. So this stuff keeps everything in place. It's perfect.
In.
So SP Tools also gives us all of these workbenches and stuff like that, which is great. This one has a stainless half topper as well, so you don't have to worry about like denting it and banging it up too bad or scratching the powder coat. Comes with drawers, comes with on the bottom storage, but as with anything in the shop, any open surface will turn into a mess. So we try to keep everything tucked away to the side, but if we ever need to disassemble something, it's nice to have a spot to keep everything clean and organized.
And if you guys noticed, all of our chairs in here and our cooling systems are done by Viper. You can have all the AC units you want to in Florida, but they're never gonna keep up. We're literally in a metal dome or a metal box. We're in an oven. Yeah. So we did a temperature check on the walls yesterday. It was 112 degrees on the inside here on the walls. So the only way you're gonna keep this thing cool is to keep the air circulating. Thank God Viper came out with this big old fan. This thing is over 6 feet tall. I'm gonna end up hooking it up to either one of their chairs or something and seeing if it can move me around the compound later. Yeah, crank it up.
Yeah, it is currently on its lowest setting. So.
Yeah, it doesn't go any lower. But it also might pop my breaker because I have a 100-foot cord going to it right now. But it will move the wind of the air around this shop in a whirlpool.
We got a little table over here.
We got a little fan too. So if you need something a little smaller for your shop, you don't need something that big. These things push air like crazy as well, and they're pretty quiet. We always have had problems with air in the shop. When we first got our compressor, it's over in the back corner. We didn't have the right fittings and we didn't have a long enough hose. So we literally unrolled one of those roll-up hoses and hooked it to the compressor and just had it come through the door. And then eventually we had Donnie rig us up everything, but we still had really crappy airlines, and you have to always wind them up. And let's face it, I hate when people roll up stuff
Cricket
wrong.
is the worst. If you roll up a hose or an extension cord incorrectly, he will go into the group message and yell at everybody. He is very passionate.
Listen, I'm OCD about a clean shop. Clean shop is a happy shop. Mm-hmm. So now we don't have to yell at anybody anymore because SP came out with this really sweet, I'm going over, boys and girls, 100-foot hose. It'll go all the way across the shop, no problem.
Grab the other one. It'll go to the other hose over there. It's like sprinklers. You want one to reach the other one. So we have this sweet disassembly table now. So it has a drain built into it on the low point over here. So I'm about to service this dog box and I have to replace the second and third gear dogs. Gear oil makes a big mess on the table. You go through 30 rags trying to clean the thing up. So this will actually catch all of your draining, metals, all of that stuff. Then you take this out, catches all your nasty oils and everything. Then you just drain this, clean it, and put it back. It also has a little drawer over here for random tools, whatever you might need to put in it, and a little storage on the bottom.
Well, there is one tool and one tool only that SP makes that actually sucks. And it sucks real good. It's a vacuum cleaner. I need it more than anyone because I'm the dirtiest person in here. I do metal dust everywhere, metal scraps, all sorts of crap. Fiberglass, carbon fiber, carbon Kevlar, you name it, I make a mess with it. This thing has changed my whole fab area because I can clean up everything with that. I don't have to blow air everywhere and make it all dusty and everything in here. I can just, grab my sucket and I suck it. So they give you a whole bunch of attachments for it. It is a wet dry vac too, so if you screw up and you need to suck up a whole bunch of oil, water, whatever, you can actually do that. And then they have a sweet little drain here at the bottom that you can take it and dump everything out liquid-wise. Which most of your wet vacs, they don't have that. You have to take and fill it all the way up, bring it somewhere, and then try to pour it out into something, it never works good. This one actually has a hose attachment, so you can put the hose onto it and drain it into something if you need to.
You can actually use it as a blower.
You can use it as a blower too, but we have those sweet hose reels now, so we don't have to do that anymore. And a real vacuum attachment, you know, so has a nice little dust guard, and you can do carpet with it. It's pretty sweet. I keep this one over here. We actually have 2 vacuums, but I took the biggest one for myself because I make the biggest mess. We've been getting our shop fully redone so we can build you cooler stuff, bring more stuff to the channel, more outrageous builds.
More unique stuff.
So in order to do these unique builds, we're gonna need more stuff and more specialty items to build. You know, we've run out of what we can do with the tools that we got. So I'm gonna show you what else we've been working on.
So this mural's been here for a while. This actually used to be the employee workshop. So everybody who worked here who had cars and stuff, they had their cars in here. Place was a huge mess. There's parts and engines and subframes and taking apart cars, chopped up cars everywhere inside here. So we decided to take it over. We went through, stripped everything out, cleaned the shop, painted it. You'll see.
I don't remember ordering that much. All right, so we are now in the Bailey R&D shop. So all of the fabrication equipment that we used to have that was crappy.
Yeah, we had a mixed batch of Harbor Freight and a bunch of random stuff that was just laying around. So safe to say we upgraded a lot. One of my favorite tools that we got so far is our CNC plasma table. So we can cut everything from steel, aluminum, stainless, whatever we need to. So we keep everything in here. We have air dryers and we have a dehumidifier, trying to keep everything in here as efficient as possible. And I did some online training or some over the phone training with them to kind of get everything dialed in, but we're still in the kind of the trial and error stage of this. We've cut a few signs and little stuff like that.
The goal for the plasma cutter is when we do our R&D and come up with new things to make for cars, we can make it here, perfect it, and then have it mass produced to be available to you guys. So anytime you see us build something really cool, like, oh man, I wish I had that block off for my car. Now we're gonna be able to do it because we're gonna be able to make it and then have it produced to be able to be available at drifthq.com. So that is the development part of the R&D. But the other side of it, like Chris was saying, is this section. I'm very excited about this. Me and Chris used to always joke about bring the metal stretcher. You know, they actually make one. This is a metal stretcher right here. It doesn't look like much. Actually, I have it on the shrink right now, but this is what they call a shrinker stretcher. So I'll show you what this actually does. We have a prime example over there on our lift right now currently with some wheel wells and fender flares that were done.
Example sitting right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Chris
I
made,
tried the first day it came in.
Yeah, he shrunk this and made a hat.
Yeah, it's a nice hat.
Yeah, keeps the CIA from learning what I'm thinking. The next one is an English wheel. So this is a great way to shape metal a lot faster than beating on it with a hammer. You can beat on it with a hammer. They'll show you a little clip. I was able to get training for all of these as well. So it's not just we're going in this blind. They delivered all of these tools to us, and within 2 days, I went up to Bailey and I got to train on all the equipment we have here. They even have more equipment that they trained us on. I didn't spend that much time on some of the other equipment. I only wanted to make sure I got everything I needed to learn on these 3 pieces of equipment, as well as the bead roller, which is still on its way. We have a bead roller from them as well. That's an automatic bead roller. I'm very excited. I have plenty of clips where I made Chris something really cool too. I made him part of a Chevy C10 picture. I'm gonna make the rest of it eventually. But I got to do a lot of cool training there. I learned more about bead rolling in an hour than I have in 4 years of doing it. So if you guys want to learn how to use these tools and learn how to fabricate better and do metal shaping, Bailey offers a metal shaping class. It's about 2 to 3 times a year, and they go to different shops, like really well-known shops, like Gas Monkey Garage was one of them that they did it at. This one was actually at the Bailey distribution center. So we were able to go through all of the tools. I went around and just drooled over everything. This is like the smallest stuff that they make. They have stuff that's big yellow machines. They're all painted yellow, and they're way bigger. Okay, you could build a freaking steamship liner with it, like a cruise ship with the tools that they make. It's insane how big it is. That's probably one of the smaller plasma tables that they have. They have even bigger ones, and then they have bigger equipment that's like 3 times as, it's crazy. You need a crane to lift it up. So whether you're a little tinker or a full-blown manufacturer, they have it at Bailey, and you can check them out, baileyindustrial.com. Moving on. I've been welding on a really crappy table that we inherited when we moved here. It was a 4x8 plywood table, and I took a sheet of my stainless that I do stainless art with, and I put it over top, and I used to weld on it. Bailey hooked me up with a nice 3x6 table, and I'm gonna be having a 5x10 in the other shop, but for R&D stuff, we needed a nice table, and this is all holes done through it, so you can actually take and set up jigs on this. I have all of the attachments that go on the table on their way in, so when they come in, I'll show you how to use all of them. But this is a table that you can actually set up jigs on, so you can mass produce parts with it. So you'll know that every bend is proper. If it's not, it doesn't fit into the table how it's supposed to. So with this, we can make really cool stuff, and we can make a lot of it and make them exactly the same. Next is probably me and Chris's second favorite tool in this shop. Hell yeah.
That's the one.
This is it right here. This is a metal brake, and it is magnetic. So it comes with all these different attachments for it. So if you're building boxes and you need to be able to bend something up into the brake, they have these notches to where you can build boxes if you're doing like oil catch cans or overflow tanks, expansion tanks, anything like that. Firewalls, block offs. You have that available, and it can do up to 16 gauge steel. You can do smaller stuff as long as it doesn't go the 4 feet wide. You can do 14 gauge with it and 11 gauge as long as it's not that big, maybe 6 inches. If you want to go anything bigger than that, you're going to need to get a bigger brake. But with race cars, we don't use really heavy duty metal, and we're always about saving weight, and with saving weight is thinner metal. So thinner metal, this electromagnetic brake is the bee's knees. It has its own adjustable setting on here, so if you are doing mass producing things like you're making boxes or you're doing the same bend over and over, you can take and start it, set it up to where you want it. I want to do 100 degree or 90 degree. You set this lock in here, so every time it will get locked on that. And then it also has these locks on the back here to where if you have a certain size that you're doing, you can slide it through and it'll automatically stop for you. So you can, repeat, rinse and repeat over and over again and have the same exact bend and not mess it up. So every piece will be exactly the same, which is really sweet, especially when it comes to mass producing, because you don't want it to be off by even a degree, because then it won't fit right. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I used to have a portable bandsaw, and that's all I've used for 6 years, up until we stole Colette's. We borrowed it when we built her S15. I never gave it back to her. It wasn't that great. Bailey set us up with this sweet bandsaw. And one of the biggest things about this bandsaw is most of the ones that you get, you have to, when you set your angle, you're actually moving the metal and you're not moving the saw. So however your saw is set up, you usually have to set your saw up to fit your piece of metal that you're cutting, as opposed to the Bailey bandsaw, which you just take and unlock this bad boy and the whole saw will turn up to 60 degrees. So we have ours set up to where we can open the door and run a 24-foot stick of DOM out of it and not have to worry about it swinging into everything in the shop. So for people who have shops that they want to put something in one spot, this is the bandsaw for you, because this moves and your metal doesn't.
All right, so we also got set up with this, 50 ton press, which is absolutely ridiculous. There's not really anything we need that much tonnage for. But if you guys ever saw our old press, it was really bad. The bottom of it was bowed, the top of it was bowed. It was essentially just a fancy bottle jack with a flat plate on the bottom.
That was a 20 ton and we bent it, so maybe we do need a 50 ton press?
It was working really hard. But either way, we got this in. It's also set up as air over hydraulic. So before, we end up with this much gap before you're sitting there pumping and pumping and pumping, waiting for the thing to actually finally make contact. So we got this thing set up, comes with a bunch of attachments. You can actually flip these base plates over too. So if you want to put a piece of pipe or something in there, or you need something positioned where it's actually going to be held center, it has a little V clamp in there as well. I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to be for, but that's what I used it for last time.
You see the dimple die on there. I might actually go back to doing dimple dies again. The only reason I hated it was because we had a hand press. We had a hydraulic dimple die machine, but let's face it, I broke it the second time I made a dimple die, so we went back to...
It lasted less than a day.
It lasted an hour,
yeah.
Maybe. It was I got one done, and then I went to show Chris how to do it, and I broke it. Moving on, I got a new drill press too. And this one is mounted to the floor, which is a big deal because my POS one that I used to have that was on wheels fell over on me about, 9 years ago at the first Drift HQ? Yeah, and Chris had to rescue me. So this one's mounted in here nice and solid. You can change the speeds on it. This thing is sweet. We actually had this thing turned up to like 14,000 RPMs when it came out of the box, and it almost acted like a mill. The thing just...
Cooking drill bits. We're like, why is this happening? Oh yeah, because we have way too much RPM on. So once we turned it down, the thing was cutting like butter. It was perfect.
Yeah, very excited about that. So we have everything here set up to build really cool, one-off, off-the-wall stuff. Yeah. So we're really excited to show you our new dynamic that we're going to be doing here.
We got some very interesting builds coming up for you guys this year, so stay tuned.
Speaking of interesting builds, we didn't do this, but our boys over at Viper built this car, and they used all Bailey equipment to do it. So being in the Bailey shop, I'm able to show you what those three tools over there can get you. Your shrinker stretcher, your replenishing hammer, and your English wheel can build you one-piece wheel arches like this. That's one single piece of metal. It's not welded together. It's one piece that they made to arch around like that perfectly. And that's done with English wheel, shrinker stretcher, and a replenishing hammer. So if you've been wondering why we haven't done anything or we haven't released any car footage on builds that we've been doing, it's because we've been trying to build a better shop for you guys to be able to come out with better builds, better cars, more cool shit. So we haven't let it slide though. We are also finishing up stuff on TJ Supra, for those who are wondering. That is almost done. And the F30 build. Both cars are currently out getting color, and that's all I'm going to say about them, but there will be a video dropping very shortly on both. So don't worry. We got them, and they're awesome.
Almost done.
Almost done.
Home stretch, baby.
Yeah. We're going to build up the hype. I'm super excited about it. He's super excited about it. Yeah, that's like once you build a whole car and then you rip it all apart and send it out for color, when it comes back, that's like...
Yeah. Do you know how to build a race car? You put it together and take it apart. However, five, six, seven times. So now we are at the final take apart. Car goes to get color and then comes back, and now we can do our final assembly, and then you guys get to see the finished product.
Let us know what you think about our new shop. Give us some ideas on what you think we should build too. I'm always open to ideas. So hit us up, like, subscribe, comment, and as always, share with your friends. Show them the goods. Come on.
Give me a kick.
Oh, yeah.